All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Officially welcome to the International College Options Virtual College Fair. We are so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Stephanie, and I will be the facilitator for this session. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping items for our attendees. Just a quick reminder, your camera and microphone are off, so our panelists cannot see or hear you. You can, however, use the Q&A button on your screen to type questions to our presenters at any time. This is part one of today's fair. Please be sure to join the additional sessions after this one wraps up. And this presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/ICO. And I will put that in the chat box for you as well. To get us started, I would like to welcome Alexandra from ICO.
Perfect. Thanks, Stephanie. Hi, students, institutions, counselors, teachers. We're excited to have you joining us and officially welcome to the International College Options Virtual College Fair. My name is Alexandra Brager. I'm the College and Career Counselor at Basalt High School in Basalt, Colorado, just a little bit north of Aspen. And I serve on the Denver team for ICO. ICO was started in 2013 to educate high school students, counselors, and parents about opportunities for U.S. students to obtain a bachelor's degree abroad. We're a nonprofit organization with a volunteer board of current and former school counselors in Denver and mainly Chicago. Every November, during International Education Week, we typically host college fairs for students and counselors in 2 to 3 cities. However, due to the pandemic, we are hosting our fairs virtually for the very first time. And we are very grateful to the 76 institutions across 18 different countries that are participating in this year's events. Every year, we produce a PDF booklet that includes information on every single partner institution. And in just a second, I'm going to put a link to that PDF booklet in the chat box for you. Please open it, save it. It is a great resource moving forward. Tonight, you will hear from institutions in this session for 6 minutes each, but there are also other sessions going on simultaneously. If you would like to connect individually with an institution that you hear from tonight or any of the other ones, then I encourage you to attend the individual Zoom rooms. And I will put a second link in the chat box in just a second here that contains the Zoom meeting links for every single institution. And that window of time will take place between 7 and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We will be sending out a survey in the next couple of weeks. It would be great if you could respond and give us feedback so that we know what we can do to improve for our fairs in 2022. And I hope everyone has a great time tonight. Thanks for coming.
Hi, everyone. Let me just share my screen here. All right, hopefully you all can see that. Hi, my name is Haley, and I am the representative for University of Roehampton, London. Just a little bit about Roehampton. We are considered London's campus university. We have a beautiful traditional parkland campus located in Southwest London. And a few fun facts and figures about Roehampton. We are ranked 5th among London universities for overall student satisfaction. We have a very proud history dating back 180 years this year. And we were one of the first universities in the UK to admit women to college. We have over 140 nationalities represented on campus, and 20% of our student body are overseas students, so that would include our students from the US. And just a few more things that I like to note up front so that in case I run out of time. In case you weren't aware, bachelor's degrees in the UK are typically 3 years in length, which is a huge benefit in case you are someone that doesn't want to be in school forever, or if you are looking for ways to save money. And we do accept US federal loans, so we do have that available to you, as well as scholarship opportunities. And we're very excited that in the UK, they brought back the post-study work visa, which means that after completing a full degree in the UK, you can stay and live and work, intern, do whatever you want for up to 2 additional years. And then in terms of accommodations, just in case, again, we get cut off, I will show pictures of it though. One thing that I think is great is that most of the accommodations at all UK universities, but of course at Roehampton as well, are all individual rooms. So you would never have a roommate in your room, which is great. And then we, of course, have numerous sports, clubs and activities available to you, just like you would find in the US. Now, just to show you where we are in proximity to central London, you can see we're the green building on the map right between Richmond Park and Wimbledon, and a very quick commute into central London. So students really get best of both worlds with us because they get that traditional university student life feel, but also everything in London at their fingertips. And here's just a little graphic to show you what our beautiful Parkland campus looks like. As you can see, we have a lot of outdoor green space. So you'll really get that American university feel, but you get to do it in London in the UK. In terms of our program offerings, we have pretty much everything except for most engineering, I'll say. And so you can see some of our more popular programs include our computer science program. We are launching a liberal arts program as of this coming September 22. Our psychology programs are very popular, as well as our English and creative writing and our nursing programs, just to name a few that a lot of US students are typically interested in. And we do have a lot of placement or internship opportunities. Placements are built into a lot of our programs already, but if you're someone where you want to complete multiple internships or placements during your time in the UK, you are able to do that on your student visa, as well as work or volunteer. And we're proud to say that 66% of the research done on campus is considered internationally excellent or of world-class standard. And in some of our departments, like psychology and dance, 100% of the research is of world standard. And it is very easy to make an application. You can do so by applying through UCAS, which is like the UK's version of the Common App, or you can also apply directly on our website free of charge. And it's a pretty similar application process to that of the US. We at Roehampton are test optional currently. We're looking for your previous transcripts, a personal statement, letters of rec, all of the typical things you would need to apply. And we have rolling admissions, which makes it easy to apply. In terms of cost of attendance, it is quite competitive to the US. And if you think about the fact that for a bachelor's, you'd only be studying for 3 years as opposed to 4, that would save you a lot of money right there. And I'd say over 80% of my US students get some sort of scholarship to attend Roehampton, which is great. And there are some pictures of those wonderful accommodations that I mentioned that are all single bedroom. And then in terms of college life, I'll just highlight one of my favorite things is if you're a Harry Potter fan, we have something similar to their different house challenges that they have throughout the books and films. We have something called the College Cup Challenges, where all 4 of our historical colleges compete every academic year. And then, of course, we have tons of different competitive sports available. We are the official university partner of the premier football club, Crystal Palace, and we have a football program with them called Study Play. And that brings me to the end. I encourage everyone to reach out or join me in my session later. If you have any questions, I'm happy to discuss further if you're interested. And I will put my email in the chat as well. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Daniel Flores, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about EHL. So what we go by is the 3-2-1 model. So the 3 is actually what you see on your screen, which are the 3 different locations we host our programs. On the left-hand side is going to be Lausanne, Switzerland in the French-speaking part. On the middle is going to be Passau, Switzerland in the Swiss German-speaking part, and on the right-hand side is Singapore. First thing to note, program is taught entirely in English. You don't need to know the local language. Now, the 2 is the different pathways that we have. One of them is going to be our professional pathway. This is really for people keen into solely hotels and restaurants. Now, if you're looking at the business world and maybe you want to transition outside of hotels and restaurants, you can go our academic pathway, which leads us to our 1. We offer 1 bachelor's degree throughout all of our campuses. It's a Bachelor's of Science in International Hospitality Management. First thing to note is hospitality is not just hotels and restaurants. Once again, hospitality is not just hotels and restaurants. This is a service industry, which is 1 in 10 jobs globally. I'll expand on it a little bit more. But first, I want you to get a glance of what EHL looks like. So on campus, we have over 120 nationalities. This is also our dress code. We wear suits every single day. The whole point is to prepare you for the real world. Have you ever walked in heels? Have you ever tied a tie? Have you ever interviewed before? We want to prepare you for once you graduate, so that way you can get a job. By the way, 96% of our students get a job within 6 months of graduation. That's the highest of any school offering this program. Now, 84% of our students know 3 or more languages. We don't say that to freak you out, but guess what? Language is embedded in our program, so you will know at least 3 languages by the time that you graduate. Once again, also making you marketable. We have many firsts. We are the world's first hotel school. We started off in 1893. We then transitioned to becoming ranked as the world's leading or #1 ranked hospitality and leisure management program. The focus was hotels originally, and then it became into creating experiences in the service sector and throughout all businesses. We are also the first school to have not only Swiss, but also American accreditation. So when you graduate from EHL, you can work and you can continue your studies worldwide. Outside of that, we were also the first school to ever have a Michelin star training restaurant. So these are all great things that we're very proud of. Now, so you get an idea. As far as our Passau campus, this is nestled right in the hillside in the Swiss German speaking part. Very boutique style campus, Swiss German architecture, but then you also have a little bit of modern in some of the new dorms on campus. We also have a multi-sensory restaurant. So once again, if you love F&B, food and beverage, or if you love hotels, this is a great way for you to really focus in on that. If you love medical spas, there's over 20 in about a 20-minute radius. So you can also enjoy off-campus activities. If you want the true university style feel, we have our Lausanne campus. Very modern, very minimalistic, and also sustainable. We have 2 brand new apartment buildings, 3 brand new dorms, and we're also building our indoor gym, indoor pool, and indoor spa on campus. Life is rough. Sometimes you need those mani-pedis. You can get that on campus. Also, centrally located in Europe, we are in a 3-hour flight in up to 36 different countries. So once again, think of your college experience. Do you want to go to France over the weekend? Do it. You want to go to the UK over the weekend? Do it. You want to go to Portugal? Do it. This is a way for you to make the most out of your college experience. Now, if you want something also a little different and access to the Asian market, we also have our Singapore campus. In a 3-hour flight, you're in up to 17 different countries. So once again, you have accessibility to travel on the weekends. This is also the business hub of Asia. So once again, if you ever saw yourself traveling, interning, or getting full-time employment, this is a way for you to plug yourself into Asia. Now, once again, we only have 1 bachelor's degree, and this is a good exercise for you to do no matter what program you're looking at or what school. First semester, you're switching off courses every week for 6 months. You're doing anything from making chocolates, making pastries, drinking wine, making chocolates, to cleaning toilets, making beds, doing laundry, folding clothes. We're teaching you life skills. And then you immediately apply that to your first 6-month internship anywhere around the world immediately after that. So your first year of college in up to 2 different countries, not including weekend trips. Then you have 3 semesters of business courses, hospitality courses, and language courses. We offer German, French, Russian, Mandarin, and Spanish. Then after that, second 6-month internship worldwide. Then you come back for your final year, you take leadership courses, elective courses, management theory courses, and you actually finish off being a consultant. You solve a problem for a real company, either by yourself with up to 5 people. You decide you want to create your own business. You can do that in our startup incubator on campus, or you can do a research thesis. No matter what you choose, you have at least 1 expert coach guiding you the entire way. And you present this to your entire graduating class. Once again, this is what leads us to have 96% of our students get a job within 6 months. And also when we talk about alumni, 1 in 3 jobs offered upon graduation is offered from alumni. We have very strong ties to them. Once again, not just hotels and restaurants. Under 50% of our alumni go into the traditional hospitality fields. But if you're looking for banking, accounting, NGOs, education, healthcare, health and beauty, retail, real estate, luxury goods, you can do that with this degree. We have over 30,000 alumni working in over 150 countries. So if you're looking for a global career, this is a great way to go. These are only some of the some of the companies that hire our students. We are on Common App. You can also apply directly on our website. We have a 3-phase admissions process. That means my time is up. We do accept FAFSA. If you have any questions, this is my contact information. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.
Sorry, everybody, having a bit of technical difficulties. There we go. I hope you can see my screen now. Kalispera, welcome everyone. My name is Justin Schaefer and I'm the Associate Dean of North American Enrollment and Study Abroad at the American College of Greece in Athens. I always like to start with discussing why Greece. Why should students consider Greece as an educational destination? Aside from the fact that it's absolutely a beautiful place to live, I think that there are a whole host of reasons why students choose Greece as a destination. I know I'm probably a little biased here, but I've placed a couple of those reasons here for you on the screen. But when speaking with our students, we find that the #1 reason why students choose our institution and choose Greece as an educational destination is absolutely the affordability factor. Greece has one of the lowest costs of living in the European Union. So for students who are looking to get a lot of bang for their buck, so to speak, it's a wonderful destination to consider. A little bit more information about our institution specifically. The American College of Greece was founded in 1875, so we've been around for almost 150 years. We are actually the oldest and the largest US accredited college or university in Europe. And part of what makes us unique is that we are actually a US institution. So we're an American college that just happens to be located in Athens, Greece. I always like to tell students, you're really getting the best of both worlds at ACG because you're getting that traditional American college experience with the added benefit of having an international experience in a major world capital city. Something that's also unique about our institution is that we are duly accredited, not in Greece, but in the UK. So when our students graduate from ACG, they actually come out with 2 physical diplomas, a British diploma and a US diploma. We have a 64-acre main campus in the Athenian neighborhood of Agia Paraskevi. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Athens, we are located in the northeastern section of the city. And here in the photos on the slide, you can see an aerial shot of campus in the upper right-hand corner. It's very green. It is a traditional American style campus. It is private, it is gated. But the second you walk outside of those campus gates, you are in the city. You're in an urban environment. So again, really the best of both worlds. You're getting that college campus experience, but still having the opportunity to live in a cosmopolitan city. A fun fact about ACG is that we are actually the official training site for the US Olympic team in Greece. Our campus houses the US Olympic Committee High Performance Training Center that was constructed for the 2004 Olympic Games. So for students who are interested in athletics, that's always a really big draw to our campus and to our programs. We do have an excellent Olympic museum on campus as well. We have over 59,000 alumni worldwide, and we give more than 7 million euros in financial aid annually. Currently, our enrollment profile at ACG is about 4,200 students total, about 3,300 of those students being undergraduate. And we are actually the largest private educational institution in Greece. So a large portion of our population are Greek students. About 60% of our student body are students from Greece. 30% are students from the United States, and 10% are international students coming from all over the world. So you certainly would not be the only American students on our campus. However, it is quite a diverse campus community. So you're going to have the opportunity to meet students from all over the world, not just Greece. We currently offer 32 undergraduate major programs and 51 minor programs in 3 schools. Within our School of Business and Economics, some of the more notable programs would certainly be our program in international business, international tourism and hospitality management, finance, as we have an excellent simulated trading room on campus that is used not just for our students and for our faculty, but it's used as a training center for corporations and businesses from all over the world. Another program that's really popular in this school would be our shipping management program, because after tourism, it is Greece's largest industry. In our School of Liberal Arts and Sciences, you can see now the programs that we offer. Some of the most popular programs would certainly be our biomedical sciences program. that is designed for students who are interested in returning back to the States to enter a medical or health profession. That program is designed specifically to meet the prerequisite requirements for medical school here in the United States. Some of the other programs that are quite popular would be international relations and European affairs, history, and of course, philosophy and psychology because, well, it's Greece and we sort of invented it. And finally, our Francis Rich School of Fine and Performing Arts. Greece has a long-standing history and tradition in the arts, specifically in theater and visual arts. So these are quite strong programs that offer students the opportunity to learn not just inside the classroom, but really utilize Athens in the city as their classroom. A fun fact for any students that may be interested in theater is that Athens actually has more theaters than London's West End Theatre District and Broadway combined. So if you're interested in seeing performances, performing yourself, seeing a concert, there are certainly a lot of opportunities to do those things while living with us in Athens. The admissions process at ACG is very similar to the admissions process at any other US institution. We are not on the Common App currently, so it is a direct application on our website. However, there is no application fee, so it's free to apply at ACG. We require most of the same things that all of the other US institutions are going to require. So obviously official transcripts, we want to see a letter of recommendation. We will also require a copy of passport for visa purposes. We are test optional, so we do not require any testing scores. However, if you have taken the SAT or ACT and you feel like your test scores will help your case for admission, we do encourage you to submit those as part of your application packet. We are a Title IV institution as well, so if you would like to use federal loans to help fund your education at ACG, you can absolutely do so. Finally, we offer a few merit scholarships for students. So if you have a minimum 3.4 GPA or higher, you will automatically qualify for a merit scholarship. The average cost of attendance at ACG for a US student is about $19,000 US per academic year. That's the all-in cost, so tuition, meal plan, housing, everything. And if you have any questions for me, please join me in my session after this, and I will put my information in the chat box as well. Thanks so much, and I hope to see some of you in Greece.
Hi, everyone. Sorry, I just realized I was muted. So I'm going to welcome you to New Zealand this time. So at different locations, something different you can look at and something you can consider. So basically, Massey University is a very New Zealand style university. From the name already, we are called Massey University in English. The Maori name is Te Kunenga Ki Purehuroa, which basically means from inception to infinity. So really like Toy Story. Our idea is to take you as far as you want in whatever field, in whatever area you want to study. This is our job, to make sure that you get where you want. I would like you also to consider how New Zealand is not as far as you think. So if you look at it, you'll see that it's actually a direct flight from the US to New Zealand. All our flights are direct, and there's different places where you can take it from. I think it's New York, Los Angeles, San Antonio, Dallas as well. So it's not so far away. It is 12, 13 hours flight, but it's not so far. So you can definitely try and come, and this part of the world. Remember that New Zealand is strategic. Why New Zealand? Just to experience a lifestyle that is extremely nice. As an American, you will enjoy what it is. You see all these different quality of life rankings, economics and peace, extremely peaceful country. Terrorism and those sort of attacks and burglaries are extremely low.
Oops, it looks like we may have lost Massey. We'll give her about there, coming back. All right. Massey, I think you're muted again.
Sorry about that. Coming back.
Perfect.
Need more experience there. Thank you for the guiding. So basically, why would you come from the US to study in New Zealand? Number one, it's 3-year bachelor degrees, shorter, just like the UK. So you will finish faster. It's less of an investment. We are registered for US financial aid, so you have access to the same funding that you have in the US. Third one, it's a very friendly, open, and safe environment where you're coming. % of people living in New Zealand were born outside New Zealand. If you come to Auckland, it's over 40% of people living in Auckland were born outside New Zealand. So you coming as an American, it's nothing strange, it's nothing odd, you're one of the lot. A conversation opener is, where are you from? The national sport is, let me guess your accent. So really, it makes it easy to be here. Tuition fees, if you're planning on going on an out-of-state university in the US, it's probably cheaper to come to New Zealand. Internationally recognized, we are accredited all over the world, lots of recognition in the US. So whatever you study here in New Zealand, it will be recognized in the US. So what's Massey University? We are the only university that has 3 campuses. We're covered in 3 different cities. So Auckland is the largest city in New Zealand, close to 2 million people. And that's where I said it's the most cosmopolitan city in New Zealand. So you have 40% of the population from outside New Zealand. Palmerston North is where Massey University started. It started as a college of agriculture. So this is basically a university city. It's a city of about 90,000 people. Everything around the city is either agriculture, nature, education, teaching, and research. Food technology, engineering toward food processing, all that is right there in Palmerston North. And Wellington is the capital of New Zealand. We have around 300,000 people living in Wellington, and it's where our creative arts campus is. So it's anything that has to do, it's also, Wellington is also called the capital of the arts. So you've got all those 3 campuses to choose from, and Massey is leading in distance education. So if you miss a class, you can actually get a recording most likely. If you cannot come to New Zealand to start your bachelor right February 2022, well, you start by distance, and as soon as you're ready, you come over and study here. Flexibility is amazing. You can study, if you have a student visa, you can work part-time up to 20 hours per week or full-time during holidays. After graduating with your bachelor degree, you're eligible to a 3 years post-study work visa. So you can stay 3 years just to check if you like it, if you want to stay longer, or go back to your home whenever you're ready for it. Right, what programs do we have? That's a difficult question when somebody tells me, what is Massey good at? Actually, nearly everything. Massey, as I said, started as a college of agriculture. We are one of the few universities in the world that are AVMA accredited for veterinary sciences, and my colleagues from the vet school are also having a presentation tomorrow, I think. So we have Americans who come over, get a degree from Massey, and are accredited veterinarians back in the US. They don't have to do any additional tests. But saying that, we also have anything that has to do with the processing of food, of agriculture, food technology, anything in that range, engineering, mechatronics, electronics, all that is also included in our sciences school. But no country grows if it doesn't have a strong business basis. Massey was one of the first universities in New Zealand offering business courses. And of course, we're accredited with AACSB, MBA, all those big organizations internationally. You're talking about food, you're talking about agriculture, you're talking about how do you keep population healthy. There you have health sciences. So nutrition, how much people need to eat, what type of food, how much sport do you need, psychological effects, all that sort of things that keep our population healthy. We don't have medicine, we have public health in that sense. Once you have that, what else do you need for a country? Humanities and social sciences, sociology. If we have such a multicultural population, how do we make sure that everybody feels they are a Kiwi? I am a Mexican with German background, and I feel completely Kiwi. I've been living in New Zealand for over 20 years. Education, it's one of the strongest schools in education with special areas of education, out of classrooms, teaching, those sort of things. And creative arts is the last thing that was missing. And basically what happened with the creative arts at Massey is the oldest school of creative arts in New Zealand was absorbed by Massey University, and they are based in Wellington. So you have all the areas, industrial design, fashion design, movies and TV, film production, game design, everything is right there. I think I'm running out of time. So just to give you an idea of the fees. So if you're coming for a bachelor, you'll be paying 23,000 US dollars per year. Living costs, consider around 11,000 US dollars per year. That is to cover your accommodation, food, and all those other expenses. And that would be me. You got my email address down here. Just one last note. It seems the link on the spreadsheet for our webinar afterwards is a little bit broken. So I'll repost it there, because when you click on it, it only takes the first line instead of the whole thing. So if you cannot copy it, I'll put it in the chat box in a minute. So that's me for now, and thank you.
Hi, greetings from England. My name is Sarah, and I'm here representing the University of Warwick today. So the University of Warwick is a highly selective campus university, and we're located right in the heart of England. And academically, Warwick challenges universities that are centuries older than us. So we're only just over 50 years old, but we're consistently rated in the top 10 universities in the UK and the top 100 universities worldwide. We're a member of the Russell Group, which is a highly selective, self-selecting group of 24 research-intensive universities that are responsible for about 2/3 of the UK's world-leading research output. And so having all of that research going on within our community, that means that our students really do enjoy learning from experts who are right at the cutting edge of their fields. So as well as offering 3-year bachelor's degrees that might focus on a single subject area, we also offer broader programs such as liberal arts and global sustainable development. So these transdisciplinary degrees, they draw on expertise from across the university to look at issues from different perspectives. So if you're interested in, say, for example, environmental justice as well as social justice, you might want to use different disciplines to really get to the heart, tackling those issues so that you can go ahead and make positive change. So that's exactly what those degrees are set up to enable students to do. So, but Warwick students don't typically just value our academic reputation. So we're a really, really diverse and inclusive campus community that provides support and an abundance of opportunities outside of academic studies. So our students typically thrive not only on exploring that academic program, but also our campus. And the campus feels like a miniature city with the wealth of extracurriculars that we have on offer. It's home to Warwick Arts Centre, which is one of the largest multi-platform arts venues in the UK outside of London, as well as our sports and wellness hub and all of the other facilities that you'd expect on a really, really modern and forward-looking campus. So Warwick Students' Union run around 250 different student organisations, plus an extra 65 sports clubs. Giving back, activism and exploring new things are all really popular with Warwick students. And our students don't just join society as our societies as members. So many of our US students also have a real appetite for leadership as well. So a great example of this is Warwick Economic Summit. So this is one of the largest annual student-led conferences in Europe. And this is organised and brought together by Warwick students. And you can see from the range of speakers that our students have brought together for the most recent forum in 2021, that our students are real go-getters. You know, they love reaching out, they love building networks, they love finding opportunities and really making things happen. If you are a student or a parent of a student aged 16 to 18 with an interest in economics, we'll be running Warwick Economic Summit in a hybrid form in February 2022. And our students are inviting students from all around the globe to join and get involved and to help gain more understanding and experience of economics and hear from really world-renowned speakers as well. So I can provide details about that later for anyone who is interested. You can also check out details at warwickeconomicsummit.com. And the ticket price will be really, really accessible. It shouldn't be more than $20, probably about $13 and potentially even free. And the ticket details will be confirmed in a couple of weeks by our students. So Warwick is a suburban campus. We're located right on the edge of the city of Coventry, and that is a medium-sized English city. So from Coventry, it's super easy to travel around the UK and Europe. With our access to Coventry and Birmingham, our students can easily enjoy city life. And for those that are keen to explore the area around the university, we're surrounded by historical towns, stunning castles, and the birthplace of William Shakespeare. We have a housing guarantee for on-campus housing for first-year students, and for the second and third year, Warwick Accommodation, our housing office, they run a site called Warwick Student Pad. That helps students to transition to private housing in the local area that's been vetted and inspected by the university. So we really do support students in their growth and transition towards independent living. So at the end of their degree, they're confident to really go off and explore new opportunities. Tuition varies by programme, and it's typically lower for arts and social sciences than for STEM. Warwick and the surrounding area have really reasonable costs of living compared to some of the bigger cities in the UK. And the costs shown here are a very approximate guide, but would hopefully give you an idea of amounts for 1 year. And so just triple that for 3 years to figure out rough costs for the duration in total. Now, really importantly, we believe that there should be no barrier to academic talent, and that's why we're committed to offering a scholarship that makes it easier for gifted, ambitious international learners to pursue their academic interests with us. So for 2021, we offered 250 tuition fee awards based on academic merit. We're really excited to be running this again for 2022 and for 2023 entry. So all of these awards are available this year and subject to change, but hope to be repeated in the same way for next year as well. For admission, we publish our IB diploma requirements on each of our programme pages on our website. For students on a US high school curriculum or taking other international qualifications, we use an equivalency system to our UK A-level requirements, and that typically translates to a minimum of 3 AP tests ranging between 544 to 555. Students don't need to have taken all of those tests before they apply, so they can be taking them in senior year as long as they're on course to achieve those scores by the end of their programme. So in addition to academic qualifications, the personal statement, the recommendation letter, and predicted scores for senior year are all crucial components of the application. If you'd like to know more about the application process and the personal statement, which are really different to US college essays, then I definitely recommend checking out my self-serve Padlet of resources, and I'll post a link to this in the chat. And without further ado, I will pass over to Patrick from Cardiff to wrap up the college presentations for tonight.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Let me just work out how to share my screen. Hang on. Yep. Okay. Okay, so my name is Patrick Kosh. I work at Cardiff University and we're located in Wales in the UK. So just a quick introduction to Cardiff. We were established back in 1883, so we're just over 130 years old. And we're, I guess you'd say, a traditional sort of UK institution. We're not as ancient as some of the, some of the universities like the Scottish universities or Oxford and Cambridge, but we have a fair kind of pedigree going back to 1883. We're one of the largest universities in the UK. We have around or just under 30,000 students at Cardiff, and they're studying in 3 colleges across 24 academic schools. And like Warwick, we're a member of the Russell Group of sort of leading research-led UK universities. The most recent QS rankings put us at just in the top 160 of the world, in the world, and many of our programs, as we'll see shortly, are consistently ranked in the top 5 and top 10 in the UK. So we are a very international university. I'm going to kind of start with this, but also move on in a short while to talk about our Welsh location and our Welsh identity as well. But we have international students from around the world, almost 9,000 international students at the moment, partnerships across the world, research agreements, and things like exchange and mobility opportunities. So we have a very sort of international footprint as a university. And I mentioned some of our rankings and our recognition. I won't talk through all of these, but many of the main ranking tables have put us in the world top 50 in areas like biological sciences or communication, world top 100 for things like civil engineering, pharmaceutical sciences, and psychology. We tend to come out in many rankings in the UK top 10 in areas like anatomy and physiology or Celtic studies, as well as things like psychology, journalism, and things like town and country planning as well. And we have a huge array of recognition for our research as well. So the UK government's most recent research excellence framework exercise, which takes place, I think, every 6 to 7 years. The most recent one put us out at 5th in the UK for the quality of our research. So we're really, really proud of that as well. Now, we do like to talk about a great deal really about employability and the kind of employment opportunities that students have after Cardiff. We have a really comprehensive careers and employability team. We have a really strong alumni network, which can provide sort of networking opportunities for our students as well. And, we've kind of got on this slide all the sort of blue chip employers and the kind of big corporate names that have and do recruit our students. I think I always like to add to this that, we also have, we're very proud of our students who go on to work perhaps in government or in the public sector, or who perhaps work, in the health service, or as teachers, or, as public servants as well. So, we train our students to excel in a wide range of fields, really. We also offer really kind of comprehensive support to our international students. So, as well as getting the kind of personal tutor support that they would get at, any UK university would offer that, we also offer, some really, really comprehensive arrival and induction programs, airport coach collection, guaranteed accommodation for all international students. And we have a dedicated international student support centre as well that can help students with things like visa advice, financial advice, or careers and employability advice as well. Now, I mentioned that I'd sort of talk about our location. It's something we're really proud of. We are the capital city of Wales. We are a very multicultural, very diverse city. We're 2 hours away from London, a lot smaller than London. We have a population of about sort of 350,000 in Cardiff. So, less than 500,000. Medium-sized sort of UK city, and certainly fairly small in terms of the sizes of US cities, for example, and a very affordable city. The NatWest index recently ranked us the second lowest average overall rent for students. So Cardiff's a kind of clean, green, easy city to get around, well connected to London, lots of access to national parks and castles and the kind of scenery of Wales as well. But it's a very cosmopolitan city as well. So we have the Principality Stadium right in the heart of the city that has major events, admittedly not so many in recent years, but they're starting to come back now, and a really thriving kind of cultural and arts scene as well. Be it sort of things like the opera or the Chapter Arts Centre, or the kind of live music scene in Cardiff, which is really, really vibrant at the moment. So it's a great city to live in, and it's in Wales. And Wales, I think, is sometimes a little bit overlooked. We're a fascinating UK nation. We have castles, we have valleys and mountains. We also have our own language, which you don't have to learn if you come to study in Wales. And indeed, many Welsh people don't speak the language fluently, but it's a beautiful and wonderful language to learn a little bit of. There is, in fact, a place in North Wales that goes by the name of Llanfair Pwll Gwyngyll Gogerich Gwyn Drob Llantysilio Gogogoch, and that's genuinely the name of the town. And you should certainly visit there if you do come to study in Wales. We have a really vibrant student life, and I probably won't have time to touch on this, but a wide array of student societies, very vibrant and thriving student media as well as sports and other opportunities at Cardiff. And contact points for all of these sorts of things can be found on our website as well. So do let me know if you have any questions, and I'll post my details in the chat as well. Thank you for listening.
All right, fantastic job to all of our presenters. And that actually brings us right to our last minute together in this session. So I wanted to come on and give one last big thank you to everyone for joining us, students, families, attendees, and of course, all of our presenters. Thank you so much. Students, when you close this window, there will be a link to a very, very quick 5-question survey. We would greatly appreciate any feedback that you are willing to provide. We also encourage you to check the schedule, sign up for more sessions. There is another round of presentations tomorrow evening. You'll be able to find this session recording as well as all other session recordings at strivescan.com/ICO. Nice and simple. Thank you once again. I'm sure all of our presenters would join me in saying we really do wish you the absolute best of luck throughout your college search process. And that brings us to the end of our time. So thank you so much and have a great rest of your day, everyone.